Hello everyone, this is Sheikh Hania of Shri Venkateshwara College of Engineering. Today I am here to present presentation on operating system for Mac OS X. So moving ahead, table of contents which we're gonna see in the forward presentation are what are operating system, what is Mac OS X, different types of Mac version examples. So Mac OS X lies under category of operating systems. So firstly we're going to see what are operating systems. Operating systems lies in category of system software. It basically manages all the resources of computer. An operating system acts as an interface between software and different parts of computer or the computer hardware. The operating system is designed in such a way that it can manage the overall resource and operations of the computer. Operating system is fully integrated set of specialized programs that handle all the operations of computer. It controls and monitors the execution of all other programs that reside in the computer, which also include application programs and other system software of the computer. Operating system, also known as OS, is collection of software that manages computer hardware resources and provides common services for computer programs. The operating system is the most important type of system software in the computer system. Some of the examples of OS, that is the operating system, are Linux, Red Hat, Sun Cobalt, Solaris, FreeBSD, and Windows. Mac OS. Mac OS now we're going to elaborately see. So, introduction to Mac OS. Mac OS previously OS X and originally Mac OS X in a Unix operating system developed and marketed by Apple since 2001. It is primary operating system for Apple's Mac computer within the market of desktop computers and laptops. It is second most widely used desktop OS after Microsoft Windows and ahead of Linux, including Chrome OS. The first developed version of Mac OS X 10 was released in 2001, that is of March, with the update of 10.1 arriving the later that year. All releases of Mac OS X 10.5 Leopard and after are Unix 03 certified, with an exception for OS X 10.7 line. Apple's other operating systems are iOS, iPadOS, watchOS, tvOS, audioOS. These are some of the derivative of Mac OS. The prominent part of Mac OS original brand identity was use of Roman number X, pronounced as 10, as in Mac OS 10 and also the iPhone 10, as well as coding name each releases after species of big cat or places within the California. Apple shortened its name to OS X in 2011 and then changed it to Mac OS in 2016 to align with the branding of Apple's other operating systems, that is iOS, watchOS, tvOS. After 16 distinct versions of Mac OS 10, Mac OS Big Sur was presented as version 11 in 2020, and every subsequent version has also incremented the various version numbers. Mac OS was originally presented as the 10th major version of Apple's operating system. Until 2020, version of Mac OS retained major version number 10. The first version of Mac OS X, Mac OS 10 Server 1.0, was a traditional product featuring an interface resembling the classic Mac OS. The customer version of Mac OS X was launched in 2001 with Mac OS 10. Rapidly, Apple rapidly developed several new versions of Mac OS X. So now we're going to see what is OS X, also OS 10. Apple's new user interface design using deep color saturation, text only buttons, and a minimal flat interface with debuted with iOS 7 in 2013. In 2012, with the release of OS 10, 10.8 Mountain Lion, the name of the system was officially shortened from Mac OS X to Mac OS 10, after the previous version shortened the system name in a similar fashion a year prior. That year, Apple removed the head of OS S development Scott Forstall and design was changed towards a more minimal direction. Apple's new user interface design using deep color saturation, text only buttons, and a minimal, flat interface was debuted with iOS 7 in 2013. Apple's 2015 update, OS 10 10.11 EI Captain, was announced to focus specifically on sustainability and performance improvement. Mac OS. In 2016, the release of Mac OS 10.12 Sierra, the name was changed from OS 10 to Mac OS to align it with the branding of Apple's other primary operating system, iOS, WatchOS, and tvOS. Mac OS Sierra added Siri, iCloud Drive, picture-in-picture support, a night shift mode that shifts the display to warmer colors at night, and two continuity features: universal clipboard, which scans a user's clipboard according to their Apple device, and auto unlock, which can unlock a user's Mac with their Apple watches. Mac OS Sierra also adds support for the Apple file system, Apple's successor to the Data HFS Plus file system. Mac OS 10.13 High Sierra, released in 2017, include performance improvement, Metal 2 and HEVC support, and made APFS the default file system for SSD boot drives. Its successor, Mac OS 10.14 Mojave, was released in 2018, adding a dark user interface option and a dynamic wallpaper setting. It was succeeded by Mac OS 10.14 Catalina in 2019, which replaces iTunes with separate apps for different types of media and introduces a Catalyst system for porting iOS apps. The next are some of the versions of Mac OS X, which are Mac OS X Public Beta, Cheetah, Puma, Jaguar. These are some of the list of Mac OS versions and the software they run. These are Cheetah, Puma, Jaguar, Panther, Tiger, Leopard, Snow Leopard, Lion, Mountain Lion. These are the 14 versions. Now we conclude that Mac OS is secure, reliable, GUI friendly, and many helpful features with security and privacy and developed versions. Now we're going to see some of the interfaces. So these are the example of user interface which we see. So these are Mac OS X Public Beta, Tiger, and OS X 10. So thank you for watching the presentation. Hope you find it informative.